have a question, or if you start a statement by saying, I have a question, then ask a damn question. Don't tell your life story after that. Because that's when the person has gone way over there. Because remember, children, it's like children. So you say one thing to a child and you start doing something else, that child is gone. They're watching some other program now. Or they're riding on their bike. Or they're thinking of something else. You lost them. Social skills will keep you there. They won't let you see that they're gone. That's the worst part of it. So, I hope that helps. And I gave you a basic formula to start. I said 5 in those categories. So I hope this slide means more to you now than it did when you saw it the first time. You've got to find 5 borrowers, 5 center of influences, and 5 existing clients every week. Of course, till you have existing clients, you will put that time towards activities to get them. Till you have center of influences, you put that time towards activities to get them. So your activity plan will develop gradually going up. And then we talked about outcomes a lot. We talked about objectives and goals, but we've all understood what outcomes are. Outcomes are an intended result. That an intended result basically means that you have thought through it and you have decided that that is what you want. And we reach through a process of logical thinking and specific targeted planning while taking all relevant factors into consideration. That is what an outcome is. And what I've been sort of harping on for the last 4 or 5 days is that's the model you need to start thinking on. That's a frame, Claudio, that needs to get put on everything that we do. What's the outcome? And you'll find that if you start putting that frame on first, a lot of the other stuff will start to go out automatically. Because outcome frame in itself has certain things that by definition will go out. So that'll help a lot. Know your ratios. Live and breathe them. We spent some time on this yesterday. We spent time on it this morning. We are going to spend more time on it this afternoon. And we are going to spend time on this when we get into our individual time. Because your ratios are your direct link to your future job that you're applying for. Your ratios are going to get you there. They're going to control whether you get there or not. If you get your ratios right, this comes automatically. There really is no other way to get there. To be candid, there is no other way to get there. Now, there are people who get to those places without having consciously done this. Every salesperson that has ever been successful has not necessarily sat down and worked the ratios. I know Howard doesn't do that. But if you looked at his activity and his ratios, they will come out to be within what we have talked about. So, some may get there without them, but if you want to get there fairly quickly and without too much pain and suffering, then starting with calls to context all the way transactions to referrals, those are the ratios, and that's what you can see. Standardize your presentation. We've been moving you towards that. We haven't started to practice it. Tomorrow we're going to practice it. Standardize your presentation. Be factual and truthful. Be specific and relevant. That goes back to, again, syntonics. And relevancy is what helps you, what helps them stay connected, what makes things easier for them. Transmit on WIFM, we've talked about that just now, all the little things that you can do, what it really means to transmit WIFM. And adjust for each unique situation. The example that you're using, Helen, just make your adjustments within that. And you have of anybody in this room, you have the best skills to adjust and adapt to that situation and maintain their attention throughout the process. And we've shown you how. If you stay in tune with them and you're using syntonics, that's not even a big question. It'll happen automatically. We just spoke about it. I've been able to mostly maintain your attention for days, and you can do it for 50 minutes, and we've been constantly showing you how to do that. The establish their criteria of acceptance. How would we know? What do you need? What do I have to do? How would you know that you have it? Get an agreement for yes or no. We just spoke about that, Ruby, right? Yes or no. Let's get a yes or no. Accept objections. Ignore them the first time, add them to the list the second time, and if it does come up at the end of your presentation, after you've asked for your business, then answer them as simply and straightforwardly as you can without trying to get fancy about it. Remember, systems, people, business. Businesses are run by systems, systems are run by people. You are your people. You've got to have a system. And what we've done in the last 3-4 days is shown you how you can create a system just for you, taking into account all your preferences, priorities, nuances, whatever you want. Develop it, fine-tune it, and learn to live and breathe it. So we are developing it, we'll fine-tune it with you in your individual times, so everybody else doesn't have to suffer with that. And then it'll be up to you to live and breathe it. Can't do that for you. So that's my closing magic. Be congruent, work with an MPO, develop your sensory acuity. That means pay attention. Accumulate your knowledge base. Now we're going to talk about the broad knowledge base, about everything we talked about. Have that. Communicate using precision model, syntonics. Transmit only on WIFM. Incorporate all the money-making clauses. Now you know what money-making clauses are, Helen? You had that question the first day. You wondered what a money-making clause is? Mm-hmm. They all are. Mm-hmm. And KISS. Starting with Claudio's group. I never thought in years of doing this that I would have to abbreviate BA. However, I find it necessary to bring BA to BA. And so there comes the big question for you. The execution. That's all up to you. That's all up to you. As I've said, as I've promised in the beginning, I'll do whatever you want within that allotted time. You want me to close deals for you, I'll do it. You want me to do first interviews, I'll do it. But I can just do it once or twice to demonstrate in a real situation for you. You have to execute it on an ongoing basis. And that's the only reason you also get to keep all of the money. You won't have to share any with me. So execution, that's the big question that you have to start asking yourself. What commitment you're going to make to improve your skills where you can execute it every single time. Every single time. Lunch break, a little longer lunch today. 1:15 is when we reconvene. Thank you for